Alright, so first of all, I want to start this video off by saying well done, Netmarble. Because although this isn't the change that myself and a lot of players had hoped for Alliance Battle, I still think this is a welcome change for a game mode that's gotten very repetitive over the past year. And this recent change will actually make it a lot more interesting and also allow us to use much more of our ever-growing roster. And whilst this may have just been another money move to have us buy more CTPs for more characters or spend more crystals to constantly swap them between characters, I'm still a huge fan of this change, and I hope we eventually get a week 3 or even a week 4 in this rotation. I can see both sides. I see some people being very upset with this because now they have to build more characters, and a lot of people who were just finally catching up to the top dogs in ABX are now right back where they were before because they were investing so much in the 5 or 6 different characters that they needed to use for that 1 week. And now we have an additional week where you need to work on additional characters. But with the game progressing so much and us almost having 200 characters in this game, only using 5 or 6 of them for ABX, I think is very limiting. So I'm hoping that eventually we see more changes to Alliance Battle, and eventually I would love to see more modifications like these where we have days where you can only use human type characters, mutants, inhumans, machines, aliens, or maybe even have team-based days where you can only use the Avengers or you can only use X-Force, A-Force, that kind of stuff. I would love to see new modifications like those in the game for Alliance Battle. Obviously, there's a lot more that they can do for Alliance Battle because even just using different characters is not enough. There's still a lot they can do to change up the fight, make it more interesting, swap out the Frost Beast, bring in some new type of boss, change a lot of the fight mechanics. There's a lot more they can do to make this game mode a lot more fun and interesting, especially since this is their main game mode that they monetize, because this game mode is the one that a lot of people spend a ton of money on to build up their cards and to build up their CTPs, right? So there's still a lot more they can do to make this a lot more interesting. And personally, I would love to see the day where Alliance Battle actually becomes an Alliance Battle where you can actually go in as a team. Like I select one character, 3 other people on my team select one character, and we go in and we're basically just doing a massive boss fight for Alliance Battle. That would be great. That's what I'm hoping to see eventually. But keep it up, Netmarble. Keep bringing changes to Alliance Battle, and I'm all for it. I know some of you guys are still salty, but I personally like it. But with the additional week comes the question of which characters you guys should be using if you want to make sure that you can at the very least score over 100k on all the new days. Because to be honest with you guys, we're all going to be going through this adjusting periods and showing love to characters that we never thought we would ever see in Alliance Battle competitively. And even the whales of Future Fight, at the very least not this week, are going to be putting up significantly more than you. So if you have these characters at tier 2 with an offensive ISO set and you have them built any kind of well, you'll be able to get over 100k. I personally believe that a lot of these characters have already featured in ABX on this channel, so you can go ahead and check out some of those videos. But I'll give you guys a full list of characters that I think you guys should invest in, and I'll give you guys a build idea for every single one of them. Okay, I won't give you every character that you can use because that will make the video super long and I don't want to do that. But if you take a look right here at the bottom, you'll actually notice that today is the first time we've ever seen 3 modifiers for ABX: universal, superhero, female. And you're gonna notice a pattern over the course of the next few days where it's a lot of females required for Alliance Battle. And at the very end right here, round 1, it is Blast Supervillain. And it did this on purpose because the number 1 guy for this day is actually going to be Strife. However, there are a few other characters in the game right now that will be able to do this day. They won't even come close, but they will be able to get you over 100k. And we're gonna start off with this day, and we'll jump into my roster really quick right here. and I'll show you guys exactly who I'm talking about. So for round 1, since basically nobody has Strife unless you're a super ultra mega whale, and if you do have Strife, basically all you need to do is copy the build that you have for Cable, so with a CTP of energy or destruction, completely up to you, and then you can rock with a Power Franger Hulk or Overdrive ISO set and just give him some energy attack, some critical rate and critical damage for his Urus, and you will be good. But Strife aside, the number 1 character here as of right now, as of me making this video, is actually Magneto. Would you ever have thought that I would say Magneto is the number 1 character for any day in ABX, right? Nah, not something I ever thought I would say. I love Magneto. I'm a diehard Magneto fan. But Magneto, guys, is actually going to be the number 1 character for Blast Super Villain Day until you get Strife, okay? He's actually going to be good enough to put up about 200, 250. If you have him decked all the way out, he could potentially be pulling 300,000 for you, okay? So if you want to try and keep up with the whales who don't have Strife just yet, Magneto is going to be the character that you're going to need to build, and you're going to have to build him pretty damn offensive. So don't give him any HP, give him crit damage, crit rate, ignore defense, and energy attack. Get all his skills maxed out, fully awaken his ISO set, and you definitely want to give him a damage proc. As you can see, mine is built pretty defensively, and I'm going to be testing mine out later on this week on this day, and I'll share that with you guys if you want to see it. So you can see for yourself, my Magneto is actually built pretty well. He's 622 in the world, but there's still a lot more that I can do to make him significantly better. I just want to give you guys a small glimpse of the overall stats for those of you guys who haven't built him up yet. So Magneto is actually going to be the number 1 guy until you get Strife. After Magneto is actually going to be a character that I used at tier 1, guys, and I was able to clear ABX and get over 100k with him. So with him at tier 2, and if you give him some Urus and give him a damage proc, you could definitely pull pretty close to what you can get with Magneto. So for those of you guys who don't have the deluxe package and you don't have Magneto, Claw is going to be your best bet, because you probably don't have Strife if you don't have Magneto. That's just my assumption. I may be wrong and you may not need Claw, but he's definitely top 3 on this day as of right now, okay? After Claw is actually going to be Mysterio. Believe it or not, Mysterio is also a character that I've used in ABX at tier 1, and he was able to get over 100k. So with a damage proc, with Urus, with an offensive ISO set, I definitely think he can get pretty close to 200. I forgot to show you guys the details on Claw for any of you guys who want to copy it, and I also forgot to show you guys the ISO set. Skills are always at 6 with me. That is standard business, so you basically never have to see my skills because I always keep them at 6 when I can. Mordo and Yellow Jacket are also pretty decent. Yellow Jacket in this uniform is kind of needed because he needs more AoE to clear out the mobs, because he's a single target suppression type character, but I think if played properly, he can stay alive and get you just over 100k. Same goes for Mordo. I just need to get him to tier 2 so I can show that to you guys. I've also seen people use Enchantress to get over 100k, and if you guys want to see that, because I do have a slight damage proc on her, I may show that to you guys. I have her built offensively. All of my characters, for the most part, unless I specify, they're built offensively, okay? Same thing goes for Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket actually has a damage proc. I can't remember if I've ever used Yellow Jacket on the channel to show you guys how he performs in ABX. If I have, remind me guys. If I haven't, I can definitely do that to show you guys, okay? So the number 1 character here is definitely going to be Strife, but if you don't have Strife, it's Magneto, Claw, and then we work our way down the list of characters I currently have favorited, okay? Moving on to the next day, guys. The next day is actually round 14, and we're looking at some speed characters. Now speed is actually going to be interesting because we're talking about speed villains, guys. Speed villains, and I believe the number 1 character here is actually going to be Vulture, but I may be wrong, okay? I think it's Vulture right now. I just dropped randomly like 10 spots. As soon as I said Vulture, 10 of you guys just literally freaking clicked on him and ranked up something and made him stronger, but whatever. Number 1 character, guys, is going to be Vulture for Speed Villain Day in ABX, in my opinion. after Vulture, I think it's gonna come down to just how well you have Ghost and Craven built. I definitely have to change this over to a damage proc now because your boy definitely has to put more work into Vulture so I can keep up with you guys. As you can see, though, I have some Urus on him. I have him looking pretty nice, I can't lie. And I'm gonna lose a little bit of stats when I change over the Obelisk because it's actually pretty decent for PvP, but it is what it is. So next character on here, like I said, is between how you have your Craven build and how well you have Ghost build. Definitely gonna have to give this guy a damage block if I want to test him out in Alliance battle. If you guys want to see Craven in Alliance battle, let me know because I know some of you guys love Craven and I loved him as well. And the reason why I didn't go further with his build is because he never had any kind of Alliance battle application. But now that there's a speed day that he can compete in, I'm definitely looking forward to that, okay? As for his overall build, this is what he currently looks like though, so if any of you guys are interested in that. And my Ghost, I still have a lot of work to do to this guy. You can see for yourself, his gears are at 18, but I'm gonna try to get them to 20 and get into tier 2 to see if that makes a difference because I find that his DPS is really low. But since he has a decent leadership, maybe with a damage proc, he would be able to out DPS Craven. I'm just gonna have to test that to confirm it for myself because everything I've seen, everything I've heard is just that this guy is mainly a leadership and his DPS overall is just really freaking bad. And in the very top row, you guys may notice that I have a whole bunch of females highlighted, and these females are actually my top picks for female superhero day. Yes, there is now a female superhero day, so no Quicksilver, no Spider-Man, no 2099, no Winter Soldier, no Deadpool, no Ant-Man, none of that, guys. We gotta use females. And as I was going through this, I realized something, guys. We don't have very many female supervillains in the speed class. Obviously, Luna Snow is gonna be the best option here, but there's still lots of characters that you can choose from, and a lot of you guys already have the majority of these guys built. My Luna Snow is decked out like a beast, as you guys can see, 478 in the world. I haven't worked on her in a long time. At one point, I had her in the top 200s, but this is what her overall details currently look like. And she has a whole bunch of Urus on her. It's a mixture of critical rate, critical damage, and energy attack. Obviously, like I said, my skills are always at 6, and I have Power for Angry Hulk, and this is half awakened, and I currently have cold damage with a 160 proc with web immunity. Okay, the second character in this class on this day is actually Black Widow. If you get her to level 70 and you have this uniform at Mythic, I believe the highest I've ever seen anyone score with her is about 480, so almost 500, pretty close to what you can get with a well-built Luna Snow. So Black Widow, very easy to farm. Go ahead and pick up the uniform. It makes her an absolute badass, and if you do that, you have one of the best characters that you can have for a female superhero day. Okay, definitely want to pick that up. As you can see right here, this is what the overall build looks like. I currently only have a few Urus on her, and the skills are all at 6. I'm currently rocking Power for Angry Hulk with a 100% damage proc with lightning damage on it because her highest damaging skill on the 5th right here is actually a lightning based skill. And just after Black Widow, I think it's gonna be a battle for third between Shuri, X-23, and Domino. Now, I don't have Domino built up yet, so I won't even bother showing you guys how she looks, but the most I've ever seen out of X-23 is about 350 with a really good build. But I also don't want to sleep on Shuri because Shuri's a beast, and the reason why I say this is a 3-way tie is because of the fact that Domino can get to level 70, right? So even though a lot of you guys are telling me that her numbers are really not that good just yet, once you get her to level 70, gear 25, that makes a massive difference, and that may actually make it so that you can beat out Shuri, especially if you're using Shuri as a support character with Domino, right? So yeah, the rest of the characters here, the likes of Rogue, Elektra, Kate Bishop, and Elsa are all good enough to get you over 100k, but I don't think they're going to be competing for the #1 spot. Just give them an offensive ISO set with some Urus and a damage proc and you will be good. Kate Bishop is a little bit more skill based. Elsa is a little bit safer, but you may struggle to make 100k unless you have her really built up or you have some really good cards. Rogue is the same way. She's super tanky, very easy to play, but you may struggle if you don't have her built super offensively. The next day I want to talk about is actually the smallest day, and when I found this, I was actually super freaking surprised. I was like, wow, guys, female combat day, guys. Female combat day, okay? Look at the list, guys. The list is the characters that I have favorited. America Chavez, Valkyrie, and Titania. And it goes without saying that the number one character here is actually Valkyrie. And for those of you guys who don't believe me, with a tier 1 Valkyrie with 15 gears, she was actually able to score over 350,000 points, okay, with 15 gears, with the same exact ISO set that I currently have on her, with the exact same crappy snare immunity obelisk with that 130 proc. So now with her tier 2 passive, that's easily gonna be up to pretty close to 500,000, especially with She-Hulk in the lead, okay? And the other two characters, I'll show you guys the rest of the build. I don't have Urus on her yet, so with Urus in the mix, that's a different story, guys. You can definitely push pretty close to 600,000 with her. So Valkyrie's gonna be the best character for this day, guys. After that, it's actually going to be America Chavez. You're gonna need to deck her out pretty offensively though, because she's really safe, but her DPS is actually pretty low. So you're gonna need to give her Urus. You're gonna need to get all her skills to 6. You're probably gonna need to awaken this, and you're definitely going to need to give her a damage proc, okay? I'll show you guys my details and then we'll jump back out of here. The same thing goes for Titania, because even though she has an amazing leadership and she's really safe because of the damage immunity and the iframe and at tier 2, she actually gets her recovery. And you know what, I'll tier 2 her right now, because I've been meaning to tier 2 her and I've been sleeping on her for a little while now, and now may just be the time to give her tier 2, guys. So yeah, I've been meaning to tier 2 her. Now we have a tier 2 Titania. The rest of this female combat characters are really not that good. Nebula is definitely not going to do it for you, even with their uniform. JJ, Jessica Jones, not going to do it for you. She-Hulk is only going to be useful for her leadership. Sif may be able to do it for you if you have the skill to dodge meteors and not get stomped up by the Frost Beast. And you may be able to pull maybe 80,000 with White Tiger. But yeah, guys, the most reliable characters are actually the 3 right here: America Chavez, Titania, and Valkyrie. But like I said, the number 1 character is actually going to be Valkyrie. So for those of you guys who don't have her, you might have to pick her up from the legendary battle or build up Titania and America Chavez. The next class I actually want to touch on is actually female villain. Female villain, and the number 1 character is actually going to be my baby boys, Proxima, okay? Proxima is actually the head of female super villain day, guys. It's actually gonna be Proxima. You're gonna need to deck her out super offensively, damage proc and all. It is finally time for me to give my baby Urus. I have her freaking uniform at legendary, but that uniform is actually gonna be going to mythic, because I'm gonna need to stomp out that Frost Beast. The number 2 character here, in my opinion, is actually going to be Super Giant, okay? So if you don't have Proxima's uniform, Super Giant is actually number 1. Keep that in mind. Proxima needs her uniform to be number 1 because she doesn't have enough survivability. If you don't have the uniform, Super Giant is going to be the one for you. You got to deck her out super offensively though, and give her a mind damage with a damage proc obelisk, okay? I'll show you the build and then we'll move on to the next character. The next one here is actually going to be Hela, only in her Ragnarok uniform. I forgot how beautiful she looks in this, man. Seriously, love Hela. Okay, moving on, guys. You gotta build her super offensively like I do, damage proc and all. Uniform probably has to be a mythic to be the number 3 character in this day for me, to be honest with you guys. Number 4 on this day is actually going to be Enchantress, simply because she can charm the Frost Beast and all the mobs and just slowly chip away. But her DPS may be really low, so you guys are gonna have to deck her out super duper offensively, okay? Number 5, or probably number 4, depending on how you have Enchantress build, is actually Titania, so she can kind of double dip. So if you guys don't have Titania, now is the time to build her up, because she's actually becoming more and more useful. She was just a leadership for a very long time for Carnage. Now she's actually becoming her own kind of badass, okay? So gotta build her up, boys. It is time. It's now or never, so get to it. And the last category I want to touch on right here is actually the universal super Hero Female Day today, guys. Now today is actually a very limited class as well, and the only characters that you can use consistently to get yourself over 100k in my opinion is actually going to be Titania, and my rank is actually dropping for her as we speak. Today I was at 400. As you can see, I'm moving downwards, guys, rapidly. I'm 800 now because everybody's ranking her up, giving her Urus. All the whales are splashing, right? Because they gotta maintain their spot. Titania is the #1 character for this day, guys. You want to build her super offensive, like I've been saying. Damage proc and all, fire damage, immunity to guard break if possible, and definitely get this uniform and get it to mythic. I'll show you the build really quickly. And the #2 character here, in my opinion, is actually Quasar. A lot of you guys don't have her, but she's actually the #2 character here on this day. She can get over 200k just behind Titania. I don't have any Urus on her yet, but I probably will. If you guys want to see how she performs on this day, let me know. You definitely want to give her a damage proc though, because her damage, like I said, is not really that good. And this is what her overall details look like. And the #3 character, or potentially #2, depending on how well you have your Quasar built, is actually going to be Clea. And Clea, when it comes to using her in ABX, what you want to do is actually silence the Frost Beast and just pick him apart using your summons and mainly your forward skill, okay? But you got to do a lot of kiting with her to dodge the meteors and make sure that you're not taking a lot of damage from the mobs, okay, guys? Still want to build her very offensive and probably not with invincibility for ABX. You definitely want to give her a damage proc and try to line it up on that forward skill, okay? I'll show you the details and then we'll move on. The last character that you could potentially use on this day, simply because of how safe she is to use, is actually Captain Marvel, and she may at some point become the face of this day, okay? So keep that in mind. When she gets her movie next year, she may become the new face of this day, and that is probably why they made this change. And you know what, boys? I'm in a good mood today, man. Another tier 2. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let me share out with the alliance, guys. You know, sharing is caring. And one character that could potentially make her way into the meta is actually Medusa. Medusa, if she gets her uniform that was teased so long ago, could actually make her appearance in ABX. I can't speak too highly of her in ABX just yet because I've really never personally used her. I always use her as a leadership for my Thor, my Odin, or my Nova or Blue Marvel, but I always just swap her out at the start of the fight, so I really have to try her out and see if she has what it takes to get over 100k. And you know what, boys? Man, let's go for 3, guys. Let's do it. Let's go, guys. Let's go. I'm in the mood, guys. I'm in the mood, okay? But yeah, boys, that is all I have to really share for today, man. Just wanted to give you guys my thoughts. Do not use Singularity in ABX, okay? You're probably gonna waste your time. That's gonna be 3 minutes you'll never be able to get back, okay? Same goes for Angela, okay? Okay, boys. That being said, we're gonna wrap this one up right here, man. I don't know how long it's been. Hope it was informative, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace and love. And I'm gone.